the sky in February 2025, so I typed in stellarium, and again, this is free and doesn't have to be downloaded, so here it is. It always opens on the same day that I'm recording this, when night actually sets in. So, and then if it can, it actually goes to where I am. All right, I'm at Peninsula College, and for some reason it actually points north. I wish it would point south, but you know, it's really easy to turn. Again, there was nothing to download here, there was nothing to log in, and I'm trying to ignore these little satellites here. So what we have, this is the 21st of January. I'm going to go over to February in just a moment, but notice the planets in the sky. I mean, it's awesome, and the winter sky is awesome to begin with anyway. And in February, notice how Venus and Saturn are really close to each other, so they have this conjunction going on. I'm going to go, as I said, to February and notice that they are separating because they're orbiting, we are orbiting, so we get a slightly different vantage point from day to day. We also see that as I go into February, it gets a little bit brighter. We're gaining nice daylight here, so I'm going to go, yeah, there we go. So around 7 p.m. starting over here. So Mars is really close to Castor and Pollux. In fact, it's retrograding right now, and it used to be over here on the left of these two bright stars in Gemini. So now it's to the right of it, and if you get to observe it, it's really great that you can see, wow, there is a planet actually orbiting, and actually mostly it's our Earth that is passing Mars, so we kind of see our own motion, the retrograde motion, which is kind of an illusion anyway. So here we go, Mars next to Castor and Pollux. We have the winter sky going on here, so here is Orion with bright Rigel and Betelgeuse and Bellatrix and Scythe, and then the belt here, Nitak, Anilam, and Mitaka, and then here's the Sword of Orion with the Orion Nebula and 42. We have Procyon over here. Sirius is rising right here and can be seen at any time later during the night. And then over here we have bright red Aldebaran and the Hyades, as well as the Pleiades over here. This is Taurus and Jupiter in here, and Jupiter is not that big. It's just what they want to do here is they want to make it appear very bright. One of the horns is called Elnut, which is part of Taurus, as well as the pentagon of Bootes, where we have Capella here. Did I really say that a moment ago? I meant Auriga. This is pentagon of Auriga. So, as I said, we have the Pleiades here. Uranus is right next to the Pleiades this winter. It is on an orbit of around 80 years, so it's going to stick around in each of the zodiac constellations for quite a while. You would have to have a good finder chart here. It's relatively dim. You can find it actually with binoculars, but you have to really know how to look at these stars. You have to be in a pretty dark spot in order to see that. And I know there's a satellite there. Apparently that satellite, okay. So I try to ignore them. Jupiter and Mars, of course, on the other hand, they stand out. Jupiter is brighter than everything else that you see here, and Mars over here. By the way, we're still looking kind of like southeast. Mars here is about as bright as the other planet, as the other stars here, so you kind of have to look out for that. It's not totally standing out, but similar brightness. I'm going to go over here. Soon Venus and Saturn are going to set. This is kind of the end of Saturn's visibility here in the winter sky 2024-25, so it gets a little bit worse, or somewhat worse, especially from Alaska. It's just getting too close to the horizon. It was visible really nicely earlier this winter. Venus, actually, you might remember a few days before when I record this here right now. There we go, it's really close. We have that conjunction, right? But of course, again, because of their orbits and our orbit, they get further away from each other. One more day here. There we go. And then I guess the crescent moon joins it. And yeah, here, unfortunately, this is blown away out of proportion. Again, Venus is really, really bright, but it's not bigger than the moon. Okay, it's still a tiny spot in the sky right next to the moon, apparently. I don't think there is a transit going on. So, and Saturn relatively close to the horizon. It's difficult to see. Neptune, by the way, let me see if I can find it here. Oh, it's actually really close to Venus as well. So there it is. Here, you can also try binoculars, and again, you would need a good finder chart to actually see that. Again, Neptune with its 140-year orbit takes a long time to go through a zodiac constellation, so it's going to be there for quite a while. Of course, it is orbiting, so moving somewhat. So those are the main planets that we have in February. Later in the month, Mercury would join it, so I'm going to pull it up here. I'm going to do two little things here. I'm going to turn the horizon off, so we're looking through the Earth now. I'm also going to turn the atmosphere off, make it a little darker. There we go, and I'm going to advance the days here. So Mercury is orbiting very quickly. So notice later in the month it actually joins Saturn here, but notice this one is the horizon. And so if I go a little bit earlier during the evening, there the sun is setting on the horizon, right? And Mercury and Saturn are nicely in the sky, but watch what happens when I turn on the landscape again and the atmosphere. Well, we're totally losing them both. So especially from Alaska later in the month, yes, Mercury is there, but we're just not going to see it. It's just way too close to the horizon. So having said that, we enjoy all the other planets throughout the month. Venus, Jupiter, and Mars especially. Saturn getting a little bit too close to the horizon. Uranus and Neptune if you have binoculars.